Side, the blue side, 3 rats in orange. It is Lusail. And GEX, we are underway.
Yeah, and this should be pretty enormous straight away. I mean, particularly from 3 rats, they want to get on this fast, already trying to set something up right off the kickoff there. Very close to opening up an attempt there, but we're already seeing Lusail look like they did, the rotations just covered so well. Kerwin with 56 boost will be able to get back up to that, but not before the defense gets to it, and a shot out of Reese as well will just slot in under the crossbar.
So we are seeing adaptation already. In our offer series, Maxiu would not have pressed forward and played that middle of the field. Not to be the case this time. Multiple 3 rats members willing to play it forward, try to get to that midfield line, and put that attacking pressure on. The follow-up was going to be accurate, chaotic, unable to play through the corner quite in time, and as a result, it is the 3 rats striking first. They are up 1-0.
And it's worth mentioning, and it's something we haven't discussed, even though we've known about it the whole time. Maxiu is dealing with a little bit of sickness right now, so you can understand if he's a little under the weather, but he perked up so well in the last match. I don't see him really coming down from that without some big goals scored on them by Lusail. It's almost there. Kerwin will finish it, and that might be the start of exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, this time instead of playing forward and looking for the ball quite as much, MD follows it up as well, getting that demo and opening the door for Kerwin. And yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, you might have to fix that demoed car, but MD continuing to be that hyper-aggressive first man for the side of Lusail and getting advantages in the process.
Yeah, I expected this last match to be huge, but already we're seeing these guys be way more even than the first series, and that seems like an outstanding thing to say. I mean, Lusail never should have been able to do what they did, but they are proving here again that they are at that level, and this time 3 rats are picking up to their own standard and able to play at it so far. I mean, we are still only really a minute and something into this. It's very close, but there's another shot at LCT, taking that pass extremely well.
So what I was really impressed on this attack about was how every single touch from the 3 rats in the setup was delicate enough that even if Lusail had been able to get a good solid hit on the ball, it would only possibly make it to midfield. That allowed the 3 rats to keep that entire attack within the upper quarter on the pitch, and eventually, where I kind of questioned where Lusail might struggle back in the winner's final, the defense might falter. Eventually the rotation did. Not given enough space, not given boost, the goal goes through, and 3 rats, I like that look from them. That's the first time we've seen them really play that consistently that far forward tonight. If they can do more of that, that's going to be the sort of massive game style change that can see them going far.
Yeah, and that word forward is the biggest thing for 3 rats right now. I mean, the amount of attacking pressure they've mounted now, I think, is probably more than the total they made the entire first series against Lusail. Their attacking pressure is so massive. They're not relying on their ability to form a counterattack, which is what they do a lot of the time. They know not to take Lusail that lightly this time, and they're using the adaptation they formed in their last series against Unselens to take that here and really bring this forward, and it's working well.
Yeah, I couldn't have worded that better myself right now. The earnest is going to be back on this Lusail side to say, okay, we now have to muscle you back on your side. So I can see both these teams really looking to play a lot of it in that upper quarter of each side. This could turn into a series with not a lot of midfield play, but extended plays in front of the net itself with the way how it is shaping up to be. As we do watch Lusail now with another opportunity. Kerwin's going to try to find MD, instead finds the net instead. Top left bin, 2-2 game.
Absolutely beautiful shot to finish this. Kerwin gets on top of that and finds that top left corner so well. Reese just out of reach of that as well, trying to come off that crossbar. But this is exactly why 3 rats is taking Lusail seriously this time around. They're even now, even despite those adjustments, despite that pressure out of 3 rats, Lusail fire one back immediately, and with a fair amount of time left, we've got 4 goals in this, and it's 2 apiece. I don't expect this to change too much throughout the entire series, if I'm honest. Both of these teams are revved up for this one. Lusail taking out that a massive victory against them earlier, and then 3 rats reforming themselves and coming back with so much hype after their last series as well.
And I want to bring back attention for now the past 2 goals, how tight they were in front of the net itself, how that's where each team is looking to establish themselves. They're trying to get that ball as close to the backboard as possible, and we're seeing that style go both ways. LCT challenging in the corner. Expect Ballerise to make a challenge up there as well. This time Curran does win out, and now we see that fast counterattack. Chaotic nearly had the power to squeak it through. Maxu somehow got behind it, using the post to make the save.
Yeah, all over it. Maxu, no problem. Sick? What are you talking about? All there, all the time. Maxu, what a save out of him. LCT gonna take that one off of Maxu this time as well, as Maxu did send it out, but it will be back to him now. Upfield to the backboard. Can Maxu reach it? He did have the boost, but called off by Ballerise. Maybe LCT will find it off the crossbar a second time. And that will be the 3rd goal, and 1 up with only 37 seconds left. This could be 3 Rats' first game.
How does LCT make that crossbar read right there? It looked like Ballerisa's shot was going to go in, but instead it perfectly winds up into the waiting arms of LCT, who has that killer instinct to find the goal in that situation, but you never know where that ball is going to bounce, I feel like, when it comes off the crossbar, unless you're LCT, I suppose. Great read, great goal, and that could be enough to tie this series up.
And I mean, as clearly that was a shot as it was, you have to be able to not be too scared to backboard something multiple times. Don't worry about your opponents being able to defend that if they're not already out of net, if you haven't created that opportunity. And that's exactly what that missed shot did. LCT reads that off the backboard so perfectly, it's unbelievable. What a way to really cap this one off, and with 5 seconds left, that backboard read, that spike, should be able to finish this one up for them.
Yeah, that's going to be a game going to the 3 Rats. They're going to tie the series up and give this a proper best of 5, but I feel like LCT had the reset off that touch as well. Could have been a little cheeky with it. Ball hits the ground in front of the net. 3 Rats walk away with the win, and now we got ourselves a tied grand final on our hands.
Yeah, remembering that best of 7 coming back here, being a rematch, Lusail did start that one up. So, like you said, even now, and even is going to be the word we're going to use a lot here. I think as much as there were 2 goals in that, play-wise, I feel like that was a good match. Lusail really did step up to the mark of 3 Rats, playing exactly as well as they were in the previous series against them, but 3 Rats, that change that they've been able to pull off so well is just paying off dividends for them.
As we watch the replays once again, just noticing in the background of the stats, that double touch was great. I'm still sad that it was on Maxu's musty backboard setup wasn't able to be scored upon by Ballerise. That would have been so good, but what I want to bring that in is, again, the 3 Rats, something that they weren't able to show us back in our opening series is that, again, if you give them space, they'll start to mech on you. We saw it with LCT with that double. We saw that with Maxi with the musty setup, and that's something that, you know, before Lusail were able to take advantage of. Well, this time, I guess they're going back to kickoff goals. That works as well. MD follows it up and makes it a 1-0 game.
Yeah, a bit of luck there off of the read on Maxu as well. Bounces off the wall and just finds its target well for Lusail, but Maxu's going to be unhappy about that one. Ballerise the only one to get a touch on the ball there. MD only one to get a touch on Lusail's side. Already a goal out of it, and now we are 10 seconds into this, and Lusail have almost covered the difference from the first game already.
That they have, as you can see 3 Rats, though, still wanting to attack the ball with that same style. Just keep it on that backboard as much as possible. Don't give any space, and when you do, well, make sure you fall back fast enough at least. Ballerise, though, still keeping a good job looking for that pass to Maxu. Able to put it down on position this time, as we see a bit more of that defensive clear. But again, one of the benefits of keeping your opponents this far pinned back on their own backboard, it does mean that when they get that clearing touch, well, you're still going to get there first, and the 3 Rats now using the entire field to keep this attack continuing, at least until Chaotic cheats forward and finally gets a big second touch. Pass back to MD, but LCT steals it away.
Yeah, incredible final touch there to get that across the face of the goal. Unfortunately, not able to do anything with it. An insane touch by Cohen to get that angle across. Unfortunately, it's actually a little bit too much of an angle and ends up going back to Lusail's half. They're going to have to get on this again. Now looking for the attempt to get that 1v1 playoff against Maxiu is not going to come off yet, but MD, a great pass down, Chaotic just barely missing it.
That was a quadra commit, though, as all three defenders went for it as well. Ballerice is fortunate enough to be able to follow it through. Maxi's going to try to get midfield possession back, misses it, and MD was almost able to get underneath before LCT takes it away. Kerwin doesn't win the ensuing challenge, but MD still in position to keep the attacking pressure on. Very, very aggressive side, Lusail. They're starting to get that same vibe that we got from game one. What a pass and shot from MD right there. The redirect to the top left bin.
And that crosses field so fast from Lusail's side. A pass upfield, the scoop from MD to just keep the height on it and finds top left of the goal. What an incredibly well executed play. And I mean, we talked about MD being one of the outstanding players in the first series. He's already showing up as such again.
Yeah, absolutely has been, but so too has been LCT, who was able to get a nice little backboard read to get one back for the three rats.
Yeah, great touchdown from LCT. He pre-jumped that off the backboard so early. He was very close to the backboard when it came to him, and that gave him the opening that he needed. Any longer, and a lot of that gap was going to be covered. So, you know, that's the pressure that they've adapted to. That's the kind of upfield play that Three Rats have been forcing out of themselves, and it pays off once again.
Yeah, that it does. With 2 minutes 40 on the clock right now, Chaotic gonna put one up, but Maxi will go ahead and take it away. LCT waiting across the middle, but this time MD will be the one who steals it off of them. 2.5 minutes as we get halfway through our third game. Technically, I still consider it game two, and I still consider Maxiu to get all of that shot. The pass from LCT to clean, and the power, 129 kilometers per hour.
And finally, Maxiu finds his mark perfectly, threads the needle, finds the barest of openings in that top left corner, and incredible shot out of him. There was no more option to score that, so really, really had to be done exactly the way he pulled it off. What a pass down, Chaotic though! Almost able to get that downfield again.
Instead though, it's going to be Three Rats continuing their attack, looking to keep their stay in Boomtown, maybe make it a bit more permanent residency after that shot, as Maxiu will look to go through that corner. Kerwin, MD, and Chaotic all follow through, so a elusive triple commit to the corner opens up the net. Eventually, Kerwin's trying to get there in time and somehow beats a boostless Maxiu to the ball. Chaotic now has both teammates further up the field, tries to clear it up them, but throws it right into the waiting confines of the Three Rats, all of them surrounding the ball. Finally, they start to space out as well. Maxiu loses possession, but look at the space now starting to be given to the Three Rats. They're being allowed to play with the entire field again, and you can't allow this team to do this. I'm worried that Lusail might be starting to lose their aggressive edge.
And that's something I was going to talk about earlier, is just that the changes that Three Rats have made is forcing that. I mean, the pressure that they're putting on, eventually Lusail is feeling it, and they just weren't under that the first series. And now, with the aggression that's being put on, the Three Rats are earning that space back that they weren't getting, that Lusail was being so careful about not giving in the first series, and that's where these goals are opening up from a lot of the time. I mean, so far, this is even without that. I mean, the aggression is working in so many ways. That's just one of them.
Absolutely, and it speaks testament to Lusail that they are keeping even until Maxi is going to do something like this, a cheeky mid-air dunk after that setup from LCT, going to put them ahead 3-2. Chaotic, there is nothing he could have done to stop that.
An enormous dunk, and I was starting to think that Chaotic's script was working in his favor, but now Three Rats, you know, I mean, it's only one in it, but they're starting to just look so strong here. That space opening up, it was almost inevitable that they were going to score something. I mean, it came off of a read, but it was an awkward situation created by that space in the long run, and now, what a play there. Maxi is just racking up goals. He is as healthy as ever. Forget what I said.
It's a double fake, though, and that's what I love. LCT kind of, Maxi will fakes the first touch, gives it to LCT, then LCT fakes the shot and gives it to Maxiu. I don't think I've ever seen something like that executed that cleanly. That goal is phenomenal. I'm loving what I'm seeing from the three rats right now. And with 22 seconds left, they are taking game number 3.
And I believe Stumpy was saying this yesterday, but that's becoming such a meta now. These aerial fakes are appearing over and over again. Oh, just a miss from Maxu there. LCT trying to find the pass across. Who even goes for a pass there, but it nearly goes off.
Yeah, it's LCT. Oh, isn't quite able to corral that one for the last shot. Timer will hit 0. That's the three rats getting a victory. Another 4-2 victory, might I add. I believe that's 2 in a row now, if I'm not mistaken. The three rats are putting on a performance, and although that game was close, when you look at that shot differential, 1 shot to 11, I believe, if my math is correct, that is a very scary sign moving forward for Lusail.
It is. Apparently your IQ is in the positive because I believe that's 11 as well. So some mathematician out there will probably tell us how that's wrong, but it's 11 by my books, 2-1, and yeah, that's the sort of thing that we were seeing in the last series. Three rats forced so many shots that there were none out of the opposing team, and I mean, considering that Lusail still managed to actually get 2 goals. That's a little confusing. two goals for 1 shot. That's actually a 200% shot ratio for MD, who has been going off in this series. But they really need to close that gap. They need to identify that, yes, there is pressure on them. They cannot let up.
And it's interesting because MD is actually going to be the player that I'm going to be looking for to sort of break that pressure. They were able to do it earlier in the afternoon by sort of winning a lot of those challenges themselves, and MD was the catalyst for that. Granted, I will admit, MD after the first game did slowly peter off in the second and the third. However, off this kickoff, MD still looking quite good, still willing to play it forward. We just need to see more of that game 1 MD and, well, less of those unforced errors, MD.
Chaotic gonna circle back underneath the ball here. Actually a little bit awkward for Lusail now as LCT gets that off the wall. It's gonna be Chaotix to the backboard. Actually was counted as a shot as well as Reese tries to take this downfield. It will be Chaotix again at some point, surely. Maybe not, as Reese gets a pass and the save is good.
Maxu's still going to look to play through this corner right now. LCT and Reese each cutting it off before midfield. There is no chill on the three rats. They just want to keep the opponents as into the back wall as possible. And this is a scary sign because it's exactly what we saw in game number 2 right now. And Lusail are struggling so hard to give themselves these offensive opportunities. When they get them, they need to be a little bit faster than that. I liked how Kerwin took the shot from the middle of the field, a little bit more power, and it actually would have been a Lusail lead.
LCT with very little boost does make it to that, but so far the pressure has been dealt with well by Lusail, and there has been a lot out of three rats already, but it will cave eventually. Maxu picks that up very, very nicely.
I mean, look where Maxu makes the cut for this goal as well. I mean, LCT actually was the first one who made that cut, so I should say look where LCT made the cut for that pass as well. It's not even out of the box, and that's where the challenges are been continuously coming from, and I hate to keep beating on this same drum, but the earnest really is on Lusail to get themselves out of these tough situations and force the three rats to adopt a different playstyle, because this is not what you would expect to see in a grand final. Granted, the matches are still close yet, but normally teams don't get away with this quite like the way that the three rats have been, and these are the counterplays that you need in order to, you know, keep them honest and start to push them back.
And you know what's really funny is that Lusail actually took this goal off of the playstyle that three rats were using in game 1. They took that off of the counterplay. That just let them bring that forward and make an error and then pounced on it. And Lusail being able to do that to the extent that they can actually score on three rats from it is a very big deal right now. So Lusail definitely one to keep an eye on regardless of the result here, but I mean, there's still the opportunity right now for three rats. What a save out of Chaotic.
Oh my God.
There's still the opportunity right now for three rats to bring this back as a sweep. I know there was one game already given to Lusail as this is a bracket reset, but in my book it would still be a sweep.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that, but I kind of want to go back to Maxiu's shot that we saw before. 3 Rats reminding me that they are kind of the kings of the counterattack in that region. That shot had so much power, and Maxiu does it again. This time, a double off of his own waterfall forces the own goal and makes it a 2-1 game.
What is happening with Maxiu right now? I mean, he's been sitting relatively quietly, performing his roles fairly well, and now suddenly he's the king of scoring.
Okay, so you're saying he was recently vaccinated. Which one did he get? Was it the Pfizer vaccine? Is that the one that I need to be going for right now? Because I need some of this in my system. My rank would greatly appreciate it. My goodness, Maxiu just absolutely running away, going for another double. This time MD is there to save it.
LCT up again. They're really trying on this to increase their lead. Again, a great little touch back, but Maxi setting dead in its path. Chaotic, a booming clear, and now Lusail does seem to be liking these booming clears, just giving them a little bit of room to think, to deal with 3 Rats, but you can't give the 3 Rats time, you know, like you have to make sure that those booming clears are going to reach them around the same time that you do, or you're going to give them the opportunity to think, and you cannot give them that opportunity.
Yeah, thinking not allowed in Rocket League, clearly, as we see more attacking pressure forward. Kerwin, not able to find that pass because Maxiu's there for the demo. I do joke, of course. I mean, this could turn into a very strategic game, actually, with the way how things have been going, and it's good to see Lusail actually have started to get a bit more space for them. I think after their 1 goal, 3 Rats have been kept a little bit more honest yet. Still, though, when we see the field like we're seeing it right now, they can do dangerous things. Maxiu, though, has the ball taken away by Chaotic.
Yeah, this is very much the same sort of thing we would usually see out of any team that Chaotic was on against the 3 Rats. You always saw these rematches. You saw 3 Rats come back in the finals, but this is coming back in a totally different way. I mean, none of these series have played out any way that I have seen them between these sort of sides before, and it's an amazing thing to watch. A demo and MD is going to open that field up. He will respawn in time, though. Chaotic, can he get the read? No, he doesn't find the angle, and that is nearly unacceptable at his level.
Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate for Chaotic, but this could be even more so. Does the lob shot go in? It's just a little bit high. Maxiu, of course that was a Maxiu touch that nearly goes in. Now LCT wants to play it off the roof. Kerwin able to find that read. Balleries going to go up to challenge, trying to keep MD honest, but Balleries doesn't get the second touch, goes for the bump instead, misses, and that means LCT has to abandon the play. This is an awkward situation for Maxiu, yet the attack kind of runs into itself, and that allows LCT to wrap around. Kerwin goes for the pinch. It's not accurate enough this time. 12 seconds remaining. Lusail needing a goal to avoid dropping to match point right now. Kerwin's going to be playing setup, and LCT is going to be playing spoiler. MD finds Chaotic, tries to find MD again, but Ballery says not today. LCT doesn't make the touch, but it does not matter. 3 Rats get their 3 wins.
Yeah, and they're going to need 1 more to do it. Best of 7, and they are so close, but it is the Maxiu show. He's had his vaccine, and now he's looking like he might be the vaccine to the virus that Lusail was to them in the first series tonight. He has come through so strong, and I mean, 3 Rats, again, look at that shot differential. It's closed a little, but they just keep putting that pressure on. There's so many shots. They only came out of that with 2 goals. It doesn't matter. You put that many shots on, you will open it up, and that's where they're scoring these. Oh, Max, you look interesting.
We're not on this planet. There we go. All right. Well, that's probably a bit better, but yeah, no, absolutely, 3 Rats have been playing pretty phenomenally stuff. All right, we're back. Hello, everybody. So yeah, as we go into a situation where it's essentially 1 more game for the 3 Rats, kind of sweeping this finals, winning 4 in a row, would be an amazing bounce back after they lost, you know, the first weekend. Is this a reverse sweep, Gex? They lose the first 3 of the winners final, then they win the next 4. Does that count as a reverse sweep?
In my book, it does. I don't know if it would technically be. There is 1 point in there for Lusail, but that is by default. So, yeah, I mean, to me, that absolutely would count. I mean, 3 Rats have not let the ball drop. I mean, both theoretically and physically. The ball has been on them so much, and they have kept it high, kept it passing between them. Even that aerial fake that we saw earlier.
That was
it's been an aerial game out of them.
That was a beautiful goal we saw before, and now it's an open field for Maxiu. No defenders near him. We'll just dribble that through. I wonder if he called 83 on that, because is it 83? Ah, it's 71. Not quite. Still, though, easiest goal of the series to open up our 4th game.
I already reminded you once about my negative IQ in that subject. I'm not going to do it again. If you're going to make that reference, you're going to get it right, Max, because I can't correct you there.
Okay, I think it might be on different references, honestly.
Absolutely, apparently, but Chaotic, oh, can he get that? No, Baller is going to let that go to LCT for a big clear. Maxi again on this now to LCT. What a block from MD.
Ooh, but there was also a follow-up bunk off on the back from LCT on the Kerwin. Still, it doesn't matter because it's Chaotic versus Ballaris. And Ballaris comes out on top. Kerwin now going to try to find someone. Hopefully Chaotic is what he's thinking, but Maxi will keep it away from Chaotic for now, even getting that second touch to set up Ballaris. LCT in the middle of the field going up. So too is MD, who takes it away. Ballaris underneath won't be able to stop Kerwin, and that lets Maxi again forced to make an awkward save. Kerwin's already falling through. Chaotic with a chance. Keeps it up high. Where's the third member? MD's getting midfield boost and not there to finish off the play.
Ballaris just missing that one, and Maxiu will be forced to try to form himself up again for yet another goal. He was the only one to get one out of the last game, but it's not going to happen this time. Ballaris did make a shot out of it, but MD going to try and get that upfield. Zero boost, really hampering him there as Maxiu takes control. Up very high onto the field. That's going to be a shot. LCT gets up the board and jumps that just in time.
Yeah, it's now all Kerwin. Space to work with, has the boost as well. Trying to take it to that backward where Ballaris will challenge MD versus Maxiu. It's going to be won by the defense. Follow up from Chaotix, an unforced error, and that's going to open up the gates. Here comes the Rats. Maxiu goes for the reset and makes it look so easy. No one can stop Maxiu right now. He is just on that next level.
So beautiful. Like you said, we should all be lining up for that if it makes you play like this. Whatever he's got, he is coming out the other end of it very strong. And, man, up by 2 now. I don't see 3 Rats losing this at this rate.
No, it feels like everything has gone their way. And if we've learned anything about this Overlap Cup, momentum has been a huge component. MD unable to make that contact on what could have been a goal. And now it's all in LCT's hands. Tries to play off the backward. Kerwin, to Kerwin's credit, actually has been stepping up this game on that defensive third, but the team hasn't been able to follow it up with the offensive pressure. Shot by Chaotic, saved by Ballaris as the time keeps tick-tocking away from Lusail Esports.
Tick-tocking away is right as we reach the mid-game right now. LCT going to be on this. A good fake there. He goes to the boost, but that's going to let MD in. MD looks the pass. Chaotic's there, but so is the defense. Kerwin, a banger of a shot, but it's going to bounce. And had it not, that might have actually been the one that they needed to start evening this thing up.
Yeah, they are running out of time. I like how they've been able to keep the ball on the blue side of the pitch, but one misstep from Chaotic, and unfortunately the backup is just not there. Both MD and Kerwin were playing on their back third, and you're giving the 3 Rats all the space on the pitch. And this is what I said back at the start of the day. Against this team, you cannot afford to do. Chaotic now has kind of become that player who's trying to play it forward. MD actually cheated all the way forward on this play, but it's just going to fizzle out. Another breakaway situation. LCT is not accurate, but Ballaris is. 3-0 lead, 3 Rats. They are on a warpath to an Overlap Cup final victory.
And rarely, this is actually off of mistakes from MD, and he was committed well upfield, just got stuck underneath the ball and was unwilling to let that chance of possession go. He got bumped midway through that, and as a result, the ball was taken away, but Kerwin, what an angle, gets that out of an angelic touch.
Yeah, that's the second kickoff goal we've seen from Kerwin actually in this series. Just able to cheat it forward and this time get the touch. Last time I think they did it all themselves. This time they weren't the ones who initiated the kickoff, but still a nice goal back. And you know what? Over 90 seconds, 2-goal differential. We still have a game. That 2-goal lead, very deceptive in how, secure it may or may not actually be.
Yeah, and especially if Chaotic gets control like this. He didn't quite get it in though. MD is going to pass this to Kerwin, who actually looked for the ground pinch, but no speed off of it really, as Chaotic again tries for that re-center there. MD up again. They are throwing everything at this, and with a minute left, they really actually might need to as well. I mean, they have struggled so hard to get these shots. They've cut off that shooting average from Lusail all the way through this series, and now they are pushing for it with all their might.
That they are, and with 47 seconds left to spare, it's got to be right now. MD can't find the dunk, but Kerwin still gets to the ball first. Ball through the corner, a missed touch, an accurate touch, but it's a bit too high, and Ballarese is able to take it away. Lusail, they're taking their shots until the unforced error watches it crumble around them. 3 rats are not giving an inch.
Chaotic actually passes it to the attackers, but the double commit is bad, and MD might have an opportunity. Chaotic goes in for it and takes it as a pass. 18 seconds left. Lusail are not finished yet.
I love how Chaotic reads this play, because LCT was going to make that save. Chaotic understands that and keeps the ball as parallel to the ground as possible. Fantastic redirect, 18 seconds to go, and the last chance for Lusail to tie this game up. It's an awkward touch from Maxiu, but none of Lusail is there. In fact, it's LCT pushing it to the back corner, where Ballarese is going to keep the attack moving forward. MD doesn't get the corner read they're looking for. Ballarese slows the pace down. No momentum, no boost, no chance. It's going to be extended a little longer, but Maxiu brings it down, and the 3 rats take the overlap cup number 3.
Yeah, and I'm going to say it, it's the reverse sweep. I don't care about that first point. 3 rats. Oh, they have earned that title. Do you know what I mean? Like, they really pushed for this. They made adjustments, not just through this series, but through the entire night to be able to come back and make that statement against